A smuggled tape.
He wanted to get the information out. He felt that the world should know.
Bizarre footage.
The interview was not going well.
If it's real, if it's true.
Bizarre footage.
The interview was not going well.
If it's real, if it's true, a big portion of the population would freak out.
July 26, 1996, Los Angeles, California. Filmmaker Jeff Broadstreet is working at a video distribution company called Rocket Pictures when a man identifying himself as Victor calls, claiming to have smuggled highly classified footage out of America's most secretive military base.
He said that he had reason to be at Area 51. He wouldn't say whether he was an employee there or not, but he wanted to get the information out.
It's unclear why Victor contacts Rocket Pictures specifically, but what is clear is that his footage is extraordinary.
It is a typical gray alien, and it supposedly is being interviewed by a Area 51 telepath.
Unable to prove whether the alien in Victor's tape is real or not, Broadstreet takes a gamble and produces the documentary Area 51, The Alien Interview.
I thought it looked kind of puppety, but there was something compelling about it. It was kind of creepy. That's why I was going to make the documentary one way or the other.
As I said,
the mysterious Victor agrees to be interviewed for Broadstreet's documentary only if he's filmed in silhouette and his voice is altered.
my purpose is to expose the existence of the aliens, not compromise these individuals. I made the decision to come forward. I'm taking precautions to protect my own identity.
If you believe his story, you know, he smuggled highly classified footage. I mean, he'd be in a lot of trouble. Big trouble.
Victor reveals that the EBE, or extraterrestrial biological entity, arrives at Area 51 in 1989, the same year some believe a flying saucer is shot. Down over the Kalahari Desert in South Africa. Legend has it 2 aliens survived the crash. No word on what happens to EBE number 1, but EBE 2 is allegedly flown to Area 51 for questioning.
He said that they were interviewing the alien a certain number of times a week for a certain number of hours.
The alien, Victor says, is interviewed telepathically. Of course, the universal language of human meets extraterrestrial.
Approximately twice a month, they sit it down for a session that generally lasts from 3 to 5 hours.
Could this alien be part of an elaborate government plan? Some conspiracy theorists believe in the existence of Project Sigma.
Project Sigma was a sort of an exchange program.
The rumored project is believed to have been implemented by President Eisenhower in the 1950s, following the alleged crash of an alien spacecraft in Roswell, New Mexico. Some say Eisenhower sought ways to communicate with aliens. He wanted to make a deal.
Eisenhower made the agreement with the aliens that they would get DNA from us, and then they would get to abduct a certain number of people.
He showed up 5 days later saying he had been captured but not harmed by creatures from outer space.
We would get technology. After that, we suddenly had fiber optics and night vision goggles and the computer chip. And so we made this huge leap forward in the late 50s, early 60s.
Could this allegedly smuggled videotape be proof, as some believe, that Project Sigma is real and active in the 1980s? If so, we may never know because the video, unfortunately, or perhaps conveniently, in the 1980s? If so, we may never know because the video, unfortunately, or perhaps conveniently, is silent.
I can't allow the voices of the project personnel to be heard by the general public. There's a very good chance their family or friends on the outside might recognize it, you'll see.
Here is the alien interview in its entirety, just as it appeared in Broadstreet's documentary, with Victor's commentary as an audio guide.
We're looking at the interview suite at S4. It's kept dark for the comfort of the aliens. The figure who is just barely visible in the left foreground is the telepath, and behind the camera is a raked seating area for observers. Although in this case, I believe the only other person present was a military aide. The alien is seated behind a glass partition in a biocontainment area, which is maintained at Biosafety Level 2, the lowest designation. That's primarily for the protection of the aliens, not us. The theory is that if they were going to infect us with an alien bug, it would have happened 50 years ago. In fact, all the indications are the aliens eliminated microbial and viral life from their own ecosystem long ago. They aren't susceptible to our diseases directly, but it has been shown that microbes can reproduce and form colonies within their respiratory systems, which tends to exacerbate the debilities they seem to suffer anyway in our environment. In fact, you can see here the alien is beginning to flag. The interview was not going well. The telepath was trying to clarify some points from a previous interview, but he wasn't receiving coherent responses. As you can see, the being is in real distress. At this point, the telepath is sending out a message to the medical staff. He's trying to communicate with the alien, but he's getting no response. There's very little he can do. There's no direct connection between his space and the biocontainment area. That's the aide stepping in on the right. The medical staff should be there by now. They're slow in responding. There they are. I have to say the medical personnel at S4 are less than first rate. They tend to be selected for their willingness to keep secrets rather than their medical competence. By the way, he's not shining that light into the eyes. It looks that way, but in fact he's checking for hemorrhaging around the eye sockets and in the nasal cavity. I'm sorry. It's very hard for me to watch. I'm sorry. It's very hard for me to watch this.
The U.S. government has never commented on Broadstreet's documentary, yet it has denied having evidence that extraterrestrials have made contact with humans.
I do know the interviews came to an end. Whether the being died or was retired, and I don't mean that in the spy thriller sense of having it killed, I mean retired from the interview process. I just don't know.
Because we just found out tomorrow that, yeah, aliens are really real and they're here among us. There's a big portion of the population that would completely freak out.
Some wonder if this video and its extraordinary subject could in fact be real. We asked a specialist.
I have no doubt that it is an animatronic puppet.
Glenn Hetrick is a Hollywood makeup effects artist.
The telltale signs to me are that it goes through repetitively and redundantly a very specific set of movements, and those parameters are most likely the cause of the fact that there's only so many pieces inside of the head, if you will.
Hetrick also finds the props in the interview room suspicious.
If I were to set up a scene and we were going to shoot a puppet, I'd want something similar to this, where we have limited coverage on the subject within the frame, and then we have a desk or something that enables us to get underneath it in order to puppeteer it.
And what about the lighting?
Ostensibly, the alien is sensitive to light.
It's kept dark for the comfort of the aliens.
It's a low light situation, but it's still lit. And as a matter of fact, the one light that we do have is directly on the alien's face and eyes. Now, if it was sensitive to light, we could have shot this with infrared or something. As a concept, it's very cool, but I think to just about any working effects artist, it's pretty clear that this is a bit of film magic.
Broadstreet's documentary, Area 51, The Alien Interview, is released in 1997 to mixed reviews. Over the years, however, it's become a cult classic.
If you go on YouTube right now, there are literally 10 or 12 pages of people who have posted parts of our show. So clearly people are fascinated by this stuff.
The aliens beginning.
Despite naysayers, some still believe the footage is real and that we are not alone.
People want to have something bigger than themselves to believe in. Sure, I'd like for it to be real, but until a flying saucer lands on the White House lawn and, the whole press corps is there, nobody's going to believe it.
Use your own judgment. That's all any of us can do.